But it's when you encounter Jesus that you can get excited about what he has to offer you. So the verse we read today really hit me, and it's why it's the one I focused on. John 4:28. Then the woman left her water jar and went into town. Then the woman left her water jar and went into town. She meets Jesus. She went to the well for water, right? They don't have plumbing. They don't have running water. She forgot the thing she went to the well for, because an encounter with Jesus is just that potent. So for a lot of us, what if the well we keep running to that we refill, go home, and go back to the next morning? Is it work? Is it school? Is it success? Is it accolades? Is it other people's opinions or approval? You see, the well doesn't have to be a bad thing. It has to be anything that isn't Jesus. Because any well that we go to that isn't Jesus will eventually call us back to itself. And see, it doesn't have to be a sin. It doesn't have to be terrible. We always think, I have to run from it. It could be a good thing. But is it a God thing? And until the thing that is the well becomes God, it will never actually satisfy. Jesus didn't say, I will give you a religion, and that religion will cause you to never thirst again. He didn't say, I'll give you a church, and that church will never cause you to thirst again. He said, I give you me, because I am the fountain of living water. And if you come to me, you will never thirst again. But if the well is a sin, if it is that thing that we keep going back to, the thing that we keep tiptoeing our way around, drop that bucket too. Any bucket that you have, that you are filling up, that you are pouring into, that isn't God. Like the woman at the well, encounter Jesus today and drop the bucket. You won't need it where you're going, because where you're going, the fountain of living water is walking with you. So you don't have to keep going back to a bucket, because instead, the well of living water is beside you. And anytime you need to be satisfied, he says, come unto me. And he has everything that you need. Drop the bucket. Become excited like this woman was, because she had just experienced transformation after an encounter. And you see, have you left the bucket? But you're still seated at the well. A lot of us in modern American Christianity, we suffer from what is really and truly spiritual gluttony. We sit at the well and we drink, and we drink, and we drink, and we drink, and we forget what this woman did immediately after she dropped her bucket. She went into town. She went to the people who didn't like her to begin with. The people she ran away from at the heat of the day. She went to those people, and she said, come see a man who's told me everything I've ever done. See, there's something compelling about an encounter, or about something that excites you, that makes you want to share it, right? So if you don't know this about me, I'm a big Marvel movie fan, right? And so I don't know if you saw the new Spider-Man trailer. If you haven't, the second you get out these doors, not in church, but the second you get out these doors, pull out your phone, and check that trailer. Listen, it's good, right? And so, but I got that trailer from about 20 different people, because all of us friends were excited about this Marvel movie. People I haven't spoken to in 6 months, but they're like, you know who would want to see this trailer? Malik, because he loved Marvel movies. And so I haven't spoken to them, like, it's on Instagram, be like, last time you spoke, January. Like, oh, but thank you for sending this trailer my way. You see, there's something about when you're excited about something that compels you to share it. I was not excited about evangelism until I got excited about Jesus. And then it was that excitement about God that compelled me to share it. You see, this woman didn't even leave and say, I just experienced a well. She said, come see a man. She didn't even invite them to living water. She said, the water was cool, but the person who gave it to me, he was so much better. And so are we excited about Jesus? Has he so captivated our minds that we can't even begin to fathom a conversation without him? Or is he an additive to our life? Is it me and Jesus? Is it just both of us living this casual life together? Or do we live our life for his purpose? See, those are two very different things. because you can walk with him and never talk about him. And I'm not condemning people who do. All I'm saying is that there's more. There's so much more. Imagine this woman being excited about evangelism, right? And so our third and final point is simple. Encounters with Jesus propel us towards evangelism. We will never get to awakening our city until Jesus has come to awaken us. And so here is what happens. This woman who nobody wants to talk to goes to the people she doesn't want to deal with. And she makes it clear that Jesus has changed her life. What do you mean? She says, come see a man who told me everything I had ever did. Could this be the Messiah? I imagine being a townsperson, being very judgmental, as she runs past saying, come see a man who told me all I've ever did. I can imagine myself thinking, oh, we know what you did. Right? Like I can imagine myself in that moment. Like, oh, well, I could have told you what you did. Right? Like if you wanted a man to tell you what you did, like you could have just, we got receipts all around here. Right? But there was something compelling about Jesus that changed the message that she was sending. Because I'm sure they knew what she did. But it was something accompanying that message that changed people's lives. You see, it's not often the words you say, it's the God who is behind those words. And so even now, as you're like, Malik, I don't really have much to say. Say the same thing you've been doing, but throw some Jesus on it. I bet it works. Right? Like say the exact same thing. Tell that exact same testimony. But this time remind them that the man in this story is Jesus. And people who don't like you will come see a man. People who you don't like, you'll be propelled to go to them. Because you see, when I encounter Jesus, it doesn't matter how I feel about you. Because how I feel about him is so much more important. And so I don't gotta like you, but I love him enough to tell you about this man. They propel us towards evangelism. My friend, encounter Jesus. Honestly, people often wonder, hey, Malik, what do you do as a pastor? I get people to Jesus. I don't really give people really good advice. I get people to Jesus. Because he's the fixer of all of the things. This woman had been in the city for a very long time. I'm sure several people tried to help. Several very good-natured people tried to help her out. They tried to offer her a hand. Hey, do you know what you need? Hey, let me tell you, do you know what you need? Do you know how to fix this problem in your life? But it didn't work. No matter what was going on, it didn't work. But she encountered a remedy that made her forget everything she had planned for that day and told the city about Jesus. I'll hop to the end of her story right now. The Bible says, at the end of all of that, many Samaritans were saved because of her testimony. Right, so many, right? Like the town that Jews wouldn't even go to is saved because of a woman nobody would go to. And so she encounters Jesus in this most miraculous, most wonderful way. And that changes her destiny so much so that she is the first evangelist the Bible ever knows of. She is the first one. We think about all these people who start sharing the gospel. It is a ostracized, outcasted Samaritan woman. All the chips are stacked against her, but she becomes the prototype for evangelism. When she left her house that morning, I often wondered, did she have any clue? Did she feel like it was going to be a good day? Because I think after being in a place that long, you just feel like it's going to be a normal day. I feel like a lot of us just feel like these are normal days. That they aren't many mountains, but there are many just very clear valleys and even some minor peaks, but we wouldn't even dare call it a mountain. Jesus is going to meet you there. You don't have to scale to this mountaintop to have this experience with God. David puts it like this in Psalms 23. He says, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear. Thank you. Come on. I will fear. He loved the Bible. I love people who know the Bible. I will fear no evil. Why? Because you are with me. In your deepest, darkest, most painful moment, Jesus is there for you.